Good morning, students. In the last lecture, we started our second unit of operating system. In the last lecture, we already learned the concept of process. That is, what actually the process is. After that, we were seeing that what are the different parts present in the process. Then after that, we will see the different states present in the process. And after that, we were seeing that the PCB, that means process control block, and which are the different sections present in that particular process control block. Now, in today's lecture, we will start our next point as a scheduling. The main objective of the operating system is multiprogramming. For multiprogramming, it is necessary to run multiple programs at all times. Today's all the operating systems are multi-programmed operating systems. In that particular operating system, you can execute multiple programs, multiple processes at a time. This utilizes CPU and I/O device utilization. So, the main aim of the time-sharing operating system is to keep CPU switching among multiple devices. So, to meet these both objectives of multiprogramming and time sharing, the process should schedule according to their priority. The processes are arranged in a queues. Queue is one data structure used for arranging the number of processes in an operating system. Each process is associated with its respective process control block. As we know that every process that will be executed in the operating system that consists of a process control block. The process scheduler selects an available process from set of available queues for execution for both single processor. There will be only one process running at a given time, and if there are more processes, then they will be to wait till the CPU gets free and can be rescheduled. So, the process scheduling is the activity of the process manager that handles the removal of the running processes from the CPU and the selection of another process on the basis of particular strategy. The process scheduling is an essential part of a multiprogramming operating system, because such operating systems allow more than one process to be loaded into an executable memory at a time. And a loaded processes shares the CPU using time multiplexing. So, the objective of multiprogramming is to have some processes running at all times so as to maximize the CPU utilization. By executing the number of processes simultaneously, multiprogramming supports the maximum CPU utilization. The objective of time sharing is to switch the CPU among processes so frequently that users can interact with each process while it is running. So, the process scheduling is the one of the important activity performed by the process manager. That process manager schedules means It arranges the number of different processes that are going to be executed in our operating system in a particular manner. According to their priority, the processes gets arranged and the CPU is allocated to that particular process. In short, the scheduling is the act of determining which process is in ready state and should be moved to the running state is known as process scheduling. The prime aim of the process scheduling system is to keep the CPU busy all the time and to deliver maximum response time for all the processes. And in the multiprogramming operating system, the scheduling is required. For schedule the number of processes which are going to be executed in the operating system. Next we will see the different processing scheduling queues. There are different process scheduling queues present in operating system. The operating system maintains all PCBs in process scheduling queues. The operating system maintains a separate queue for each of the process states and PCBs of all processes in the same execution state are placed in the same queue. When the state of a process is changed, its PCB is unlinked from its current queue and moved to its new state queue. The operating system maintains the following important process scheduling queues, that are job queue, ready queue and device queues. First one is the job queue. Job queue tells that as processes enter the system, then they are put into a job queue, that is set of all processes in the system. That means this queue keeps all the processes in the system. Job queue keeps all the processes in the system. Next one is the ready queue. Ready queue tells that it set all the processes residing in the main memory, ready and waiting to execute. Ready queue processes sets Ready queue processes are the set of all the processes residing in the main memory that are ready and waiting to execute. This queue is generally stored as a linked list, and a ready queue header contains the pointers to the first and final PCB in the list. In short, a ready queue keeps a set of all processes that are residing in the main memory that are ready and waiting to execute. And a new process is always put in this queue. And last one is the device queue. Set of processes waiting for an I/O device. Each device has its own device queue. The device queues are nothing but the processes which are blocked due to unavailability of an I/O device constitute these queues. In the device queues, there are number of processes that are waiting for the certain input-output device. That all processes are put into the device queue. These are the three types of queues present in the operating system. First one is the job queue. In job queue, all the processes, all the set of processes in the system that are stored in the job queue. The ready queue processes. In the ready queue contains the all processes that are residing into the main memory. And in the device queue, there are number of processes that are waiting for certain I/O input-output device. Here in this diagram shows the representation of ready queue and various input-output device queue. This figure shows the ready queue and various input-output device queues. As I told earlier that ready queues and I/O queues are represented by using the linked list data structure. In this, each process PCB header is points to the next process and the last process of the PCB. As I told earlier that a ready queue header contains the pointer to the first and final PCB in the list. Means ready queue and device queues pointer points to the next, means first and last process. First and last process PCB. Here in this figure there is one ready queue and there are different device queues are present. First we will discuss about the ready queue. Here the ready queue is represented. In the ready queue there are two parts. In the first part there is an head and in second part there is an tail. I told already that ready queue is represented by the linked list data structure. It is represented by the linked list. Ready queue having a two parts, head and tail. Ready queue's head is always pointing to the first process control block of the particular process and tail points to the last PCB, last process in the ready queue. Here in this figure, the ready queue header is points to the PCB 7, means process 7's PCB. Process 7's process control block. The process control block contains the number of sections. And the process control block's head is points to the next process control block present in the ready queue. Or the process control block in the ready queue, the process control block's ready queue header is points to the next process of the PCB. And the ready queue tail is points to the last PCB present in the ready queue. In the ready queue tail points to the last process present in the ready queue. In short, the ready queue contains here in this figure, see this figure. In this figure, the ready queue contains two parts, head and tail. The head always points to the next process or the next PCB. Here, the header points to the first process PCB. Header points to the first process or the first PCB in the ready queue. And the tail of the ready queue points to the last process or the last PCB present in the ready queue. And each PCB present in the ready queue points to its next head of the PCB. This is a ready queue. In the ready queue, it is a collection of all the processes that are residing in the main memory. Also, these processes are ready and waiting for execution. In the ready queue here, process 7 and process 2 are the ready for the execution. They are resides into the main memory. This is the ready queue. Here the different IO queues are represented. IO queues or device queues are the collection of processes waiting for input-output devices. Here, the IO queues are represented. In the IO, for representation of the IO queue, also the linked list data structure is used. Here, for the input-output device tape unit, here are the different IO devices. Magnetic tape unit 0, this is an one device. Magnetic tape unit 1, this is an another device. Disk 0 is an another IO device, and terminal unit is an another IO device. Here in this example, magnetic tape unit 1 is not occupied by any process. This is an free because the head and tail points to the null. Magnetic tape unit 0 is not occupied by any one process. It is free. Next, magnetic tape unit 1 is also not occupied by any process or any PCB. It points to the null. See here, head and tail both are points to the null. Next, here is an disk unit 0. This IO is allocated by the different processes like process 3 means PCB 3, process 14 also called as PCB 14 means process 14, and PCB 6 means process 6. This representation is how it is defined, how the IO device queue is represented. The disk unit 0 is occupied by 3 processes. So how it is represented? The disk unit 0's head points to the first process in the disk queue, that is process 3. And next, after that there is an process 14. So process 3's head points to the process 14's head. In this way, the pointer points to the next PCB, and the device tail is always points to the last process in the process queue. In the device queue. In the device queue, there are two parts. Device queues are represented by using the linked list. There are two parts in the linked list: head and tail. Head is always points to the first PCB, first process waiting for the disk unit. Then that process head is points to the next process, and the disk unit means IO device linked list tail points to the last process in that particular device queue. In this way, the ready queue and the IO devices queues are represented. Suppose the process makes an IO request to a shared device such as disk. Suppose any process request for a disk. Since there are many processes in the system, then the disk may be busy with the I/O request of some other process. In this example, disk unit 0 is occupied by the number of processes. This device is busy with these 3 processes. The processes therefore may have to wait for the disk. The list of processes waiting for a particular I/O device is called device queue. And each device has its own device queue. In the operating system, each device having its own device queue. Each input-output device present in the operating system having its own device queues. Next point is the process scheduling or the scheduling queues. The queue is called as ready queue when the processes in the queue are residing or stored into the main memory and they are ready and waiting for CPU to get executed. And these queues are stored as a linked list. That we are already learned how to represent the ready queue. Here the representation of process scheduling is shown. In that representation, first we know about the ready queue. We know that the ready queue is when the processes are in ready queue, when the processes in the queue are residing or stored into the main memory and they are ready for the execution and waiting for the CPU to get execute. That processes are resides into the ready queue. And the list of different processes which waits for a particular I/O device is called as device queue. Each device has its own device queue which describe the number of processes waiting for it. For example, consider this example. In this example, for the disk unit 0, the 3 processes are waiting for allocation of that particular device, that is disk unit. In the process scheduling, there are 2 types of queues. That is, one is the ready queue and device queue. Here, see this diagram. Here, the arrow shown in the diagram are used to indicate the direction or flow of the process in the system. Here, the arrows. Here in this figure, all the arrows represents or the arrows indicates the direction or the flow of the process in the system. The arrow represents the flow of the system. The arrow indicates the direction or the flow of the process in the system. The rectangle denotes the queues and the circle represents the resources which serves the queues. In short, in this figure, the arrows represents or the arrows indicates the flow of execution of the processes in the system and the different rectangles represents the queues and the circle denotes the resources. Initially, a new process is assigned for the execution or it is dispatched. When a process is allocated to a CPU, then many situations or conditions could occur at a time. We know that in the ready queue, there are the processes which are ready to execute, but they are waiting to the CPU gets free. Once the CPU gets free, the processes present in the ready queue that are going for the execution one by one. When a process is going for the execution, when the process from the ready queue is going into the CPU, then there may occur many conditions. There may occur many situations at a time. In the first condition, the process could issue an IO request and then it can be placed in an IO queue. If any process from the ready queue is going for the execution in the CPU, but there may some condition occur, because of that condition that process is going for the IO queue. म्हणजे प्रोसेस सीपीयू मध्ये एक्झिक्युशन साठी गेल्यानंतर काही सिच्युएशन्स मध्ये, काही कंडिशन्स मध्ये ती प्रोसेस एक्झिक्युशन मधून इंटरप्ट होऊ शकते, बाहेर पडू शकते. त्या कंडिशन्स काय आहेत? फर्स्ट आहे, एखाद्या कंडिशनला म्हणजे ते प्रोसेस एक्झिक्युशन साठी, त्या प्रोसेसच्या एक्झिक्युशन साठी त्याला एखादा इनपुट आउटपुट डिव्हाइस रिक्वायर्ड असेल तर तो काय करणार आहे? तो डिव्हाइस ऑक्युपाय करण्यासाठी इनपुट आउटपुट डिव्हाइस क्यूला मध्ये जाणार आहे. In first condition, the process could issue an IO request. For the completion of their process, the process requires some input-output device. Process execute होत असताना समजा त्याला एक इनपुट-आउटपुट डिव्हाइस रिक्वायर्ड आहे. फॉर एक्झाम्पल त्याला डिस्क रिक्वायर्ड आहे, तर त्यावेळी तो काय करणार आहे? वेटिंग मध्ये जाणार आहे. आणि वेटिंग मध्ये तो कुठल्या वेटिंग मध्ये जाणार आहे? इनपुट आउटपुट डिव्हाइस लागणार आहे, त्यामुळे तो इनपुट आउटपुट डिव्हाइसच्या क्यू मध्ये जाणार आहे. आणि आफ्टर फुलफिलमेंट म्हणजे त्याला तो जो डिव्हाइस रिक्वायर्ड आहे तो अवेलेबल झाला तर तो परत कशामध्ये जाणार आहे? रेडी क्यू मध्ये जाणार आहे. आणि विथ दॅट पर्टिक्युलर इनपुट आउटपुट डिव्हाइस तो परत काय जाणार आहे? एक्झिक्युशन साठी जाणार आहे. नेक्स्ट, इन द सेकंड कंडिशन, the process could create a new sub-process and wait for the sub-process termination. समजा एखादी प्रोसेस रेडी क्यू मधून सीपीयू मध्ये एक्झिक्युशन साठी गेली आहे. एक्झिक्युशन साठी गेल्यानंतर तिथं तो काय केले? नवीन सब प्रोसेस क्रिएट झाली आहे. नवीन प्रोसेस, चाइल्ड प्रोसेस काय झाली आहे? क्रिएट झाली आहे. पण त्यावेळी जोपर्यंत चाइल्ड प्रोसेसचं एक्झिक्युशन कंप्लीट होणार नाही तोपर्यंत तो काय राहणार आहे? पुन्हा वेटिंग मध्ये जाणार आहे. ओके, नेक्स्ट अजून एक कंडिशन आहे. जेव्हा प्रोसेस एखादी सीपीयू मध्ये एक्झिक्यूट होत असते त्यावेळी समजा त्या प्रोसेसच्या एक्झिक्युशनचा टाइम एक्सपायर्ड झाला, म्हणजे प्रोसेस अजून पूर्णपणे कंप्लीट एक्झिक्यूट व्हायची आहे, बट त्याने सीपीयूने दिलेला टाइम पिरियड एक्झिक्युशन साठी संपला तर तो पुन्हा कशामध्ये जाऊ शकते? रेडी क्यू मध्ये ती प्रोसेस जाऊ शकते आणि परत त्याला एक्झिक्युशन साठी जावं लागणार आहे. आणि लास्ट कंडिशन आहे, समजा एक्झिक्युशनच्या वेळी ऍट द रन टाइम, ऍट द एक्झिक्युशन टाइम एखादा इंटरप्ट जर ऑकर झाला तर त्या इंटरप्ट कंप्लीट होऊपर्यंत, त्या इंटरप्ट ऑकर होऊपर्यंत किंवा इंटरप्टचा कोड एक्झिक्यूट होऊपर्यंत त्याला परत कशामध्ये जायला लागणार आहे? रेडी क्यू मध्ये वेटिंग साठी जाणार आहे. मग आफ्टर इंटरप्ट जर हँडल झाला तर तो परत काय होऊ शकणार आहे, एक्झिक्युशनसाठी जाऊ शकणार आहे. म्हणजे ह्या रिप्रेझेंटेशन मध्ये काय दाखवलंय, प्रोसेसेस शेड्यूल कशा होतात. प्रोसेसेस कुठून एक्झिक्युशनला जातात, रेडी क्यू मधून एक्झिक्युशनसाठी जात असतात. समजा एखादी नवीन प्रोसेस आली तर ती पहिल्यांदा कुठं जाते, रेडी क्यू मध्ये जाते फर्स्ट. तिथून ती सीपीयू अलोकेट करून एक्झिक्यूट होते. बट एक्झिक्युशनच्या वेळी ह्या कंडिशन्स ऑकर होऊ शकतात की ह्या कंडिशन्समुळे एक्झिक्युशनसाठी गेलेली प्रोसेस परत रेडी क्यूला येऊ शकते. पहिली कंडिशन म्हणजे काय आहे, इनपुट आउटपुट रिक्वेस्टची कंडिशन. म्हणजे प्रोसेस एक्झिक्युशनच्या वेळी समजा त्याला एखादा इनपुट आउटपुट डिव्हाइस लागणार आहे, तर तो डिव्हाइस ऑक्युपाय करण्यासाठी परत त्याला काय करावं लागतं, इनपुट आउटपुट डिव्हाइस क्यू मध्ये जाऊन तो पर्टिक्युलर डिव्हाइस घेऊन परत रेडी क्यू मध्ये येऊन परत एक्झिक्युशनसाठी जावं लागणार आहे. ती प्रोसेस वेटिंगला गेल्यावर रेडी क्यू मधली सेकंड प्रोसेस सीपीयू एक्झिक्युशनला घेत असतो. त्यामुळे काय करावं लागणार आहे, आयओ डिव्हाइस ची रिक्वेस्ट कंप्लीट होऊपर्यंत त्याला परत रेडी क्यू मध्ये वेटिंगसाठी जावं लागणार आहे. सेकंड कंडिशनला काय सांगितलंय, टाइम स्लाइस एक्सपायर्ड. म्हणजे एखादी प्रोसेस रेडी क्यू मधून सीपीयूला एक्झिक्युशनसाठी आली आहे, पण एक्झिक्युशन होत असताना सीपीयूने प्रोव्हाइड केलेला टाइम जर संपला पण त्याचं एक्झिक्युशन अजून कंप्लीट झालेलं नाहीये, तर ती प्रोसेस परत काय जाते, स्टॉप होते आणि परत रेडी क्यू मध्ये जाते आणि तिथून परत सीपीयू फ्री झाल्यानंतर परत एक्झिक्युशनसाठी जाते. किंवा अजून एक कंडिशन सांगितले, थर्ड कंडिशन, फोर्क अ चाइल्ड. म्हणजे ज्यावेळी सीपीयू मध्ये रेडी क्यू मधून प्रोसेस जाऊन सीपीयू मध्ये एक्झिक्यूट होत असते, बट एक्झिक्युशनच्या वेळी समजा ती एखादी नवीन चाइल्ड प्रोसेस क्रिएट करते. ती मेन प्रोसेस नवीन एखादी सब प्रोसेस क्रिएट करते, चाइल्ड प्रोसेस क्रिएट करते. तेव्हा त्या प्रोसेसला चाइल्ड प्रोसेस एक्झिक्यूट होऊपर्यंत, चाइल्ड प्रोसेसचं वर्क कंप्लीट होऊपर्यंत, चाइल्ड प्रोसेस टर्मिनेट होऊपर्यंत परत त्याला वेटिंग करावं लागतं. म्हणून त्यासाठी ती प्रोसेस परत रेडी क्यू मध्ये जाते आणि तिथून परत सीपीयू फ्री झाल्यानंतर एक्झिक्युशनसाठी जाते. आणि लास्ट कंडिशन आहे, ज्यावेळी एक्झिक्युशनच्या वेळी ज्यावेळी एखादी प्रोसेस रेडी क्यू मधून सीपीयूला जाते आणि एक्झिक्युशन होत असतं, बट ऍट द रन टाइम, ऍट द एक्झिक्युशन टाइम समजा एखादा इंटरप्ट किंवा एखादा एरर ऑकर झाला, तर ती इंटरप्ट हँडल करूपर्यंत, एक एरर डिटेक्ट होऊपर्यंत, एरर रिमूव्ह होऊपर्यंत प्रोसेसला काय करावं लागतं, परत वेट करावं लागतं. त्यासाठी ती प्रोसेस परत रेडी क्यूला जाते. ही आहे प्रोसेस शेड्यूलिंग. दिस इज द प्रोसेस शेड्यूलिंग कन्सेप्ट. Here the short description of the above diagram is given. See this description. Okay, thank you.